A fire crackling in the background, marshmallows roasting, scarves, boots and hot drinks. Autumn is coming. So for our first DIY, I'm going to be taking this pumpkin. It was from last year, from the Halloween range, I believe, from Poundland. I'm also going to be taking this polyfiller. Again, you can find this in Poundland. And for my American watchers, this is basically like spackle. So I've got a glove on just in case, because I think I'm going to be using my hands for a majority of this. And I'm going to basically cover this and try and fill the holes. I hope this works because I haven't tried it prior to filming. So I'm just going to grab that, smudge it on, because I really love the texture as well. Also got my lolly stick here. Oh, that's definitely better than using my hand. So for the stars, I've just placed my hand inside and I'm making sure that I cover it from the inside first and then just going over it on the outside as well. It's just flopping everywhere. It's a little bit messy, but sometimes it's nice to get messy with projects. Kind of therapeutic, really. So that's one star covered, you can see. I've chosen to use this because that's all I've got at home with me, but you can use clay. The reason that I use this is just to fill the holes of the stars in. So you can do that with clay, with air drying clay or plasticine, anything like that. Now it's kind of lost its shape a little bit. It looks like an apple or something like that. So I've got this pumpkin here and I'm just kind of using it just to see like how to shape it like a pumpkin, I suppose. So I've added just a strip there as a camera. Yeah, the camera's picking it up. So to do that, I'm basically just taking little bits like this and creating lines with it. And then just sticking them on. I've also left the entry here for the tea light because I did think that that's a really nice feature to have a pumpkin tea light, so I haven't closed that up. And you can see I'm trying to match the segments, so this line here, I'm going to add a line here to correspond with it. So this is all nice and dry now. I'm going to be taking this sanding block, and again this is just from Poundland. I'm going to try to smoothen this out a little bit. Once you're done sanding it, you're going to start painting it. So I am using this tester pot again, and I am going to mix it with the baking soda. Once I have my mixture ready, I'm taking my sponge brush to dab it on. I'm not really happy with how short this part is here, so I've taken this from a plastic pumpkin. It was actually from Poundland, and I'm going to remove this bit here so that it's nice and flat and I can secure it to this. So hopefully this works with the pliers. Got a little bit left. Yay! Just remove that. Just take your hot glue to attach that on. I'm just going to colour it in using some markers, only because I don't have brown paint. Now if I could go back in time, I would take some more polyfiller or spackle, whatever you refer to it as, and I would have basically padded these out a little bit more so it looks like a pumpkin, because right now what I'm worrying about is that it doesn't look that much like a pumpkin. So I'm going to be taking some of my Arteza powders here, just to give it some depth and dimension. I'm going to add a little bit of dark brown colour, and I'm basically going to kind of dry brush it on, and you can do this with acrylic paint as well. So just pouring a little bit on this placemat. Kind of feels like putting makeup on. So this is how the first DIY has come out. It definitely took the longest time out of all of the projects, and for some reason it reminds me of something out of Harry Potter. Does anyone else see it? I think it's the sorting hat. For the next DIY, you need to pick up 2 beautiful frames from Poundland. So these are obviously just £1 each, and they are A4. They typically sell the 8x10, so if you can't get your hands on these, you can get those ones. So you want 2 in total, but we just need the glass from one of them, so you don't need the frame. Going to open it all up, remove the packaging, then you want to turn them around, and we are going to be removing all of the clips. So just these ones here, open it up, get the backing out, and then this part here you don't need. Then take your pliers and remove these. So I've removed all of the backing and these little black things, I don't know what you call them. Now for the second one, you just want to get the glass out, so you don't need to remove the clips or anything like that, just remove the glass. So this is all we need from this frame here. Set that aside for now. Okay, and then I went onto the internet. I found a nice font that I like. This one says Autumn Vibes, and you can have whatever saying, quote, or anything that you like. And you can also change this up for anything. It doesn't have to just be an autumn DIY. This is a little hack that I like to do. Take the glass, so just put the frame aside. You go and center it to where you want the text. So let's have a look. I want it to be centered. Next, you're going to need a marker. Again, Poundland do these, but I am going to be using Arteza, and I am choosing white. You can choose black, any shades of brown. And I also have a Cricut, so if you have a Cricut, you can do this on the Cricut. But I just wanted to show everyone else who doesn't have one how you can do it. Also, if you want to do this just by hand, you can, but I really don't trust my handwriting, so I like to have something as a template or like a stencil, I suppose. Even with going over text, I'm still nervous. So just taking my time a little bit. So now you remove the glass, and then you have the big reveal. Ta-da! Set that aside to dry because it's still wet, and we will move on to the next part while that dries. Next, I'm going to be taking some leaves. I've got these ones here, but I'm not keen on the colours or the designs. It obviously looks way too fake, but if you're happy with them, by all means go with them. I'm going to change the colour and add some texture, so I think I'm going to carry on with the theme of neutral colours, and I'm going to take bicarbonate of soda, and then I'm going to mix it with my paint. So I am using these Wilco tester pots, and then taking my second colour. This is like a vanilla colour, and then we're going to add bicarbonate of soda in. Not like that. Mix it up until you are happy with the consistency and the texture. And then when you're happy, you can start adding the paint. Now I'm taking this sponge brush because I really do like the extra detail, like the texture that it gives. So I'm just going ahead and stamping that paint on. Then once your writing is dry, you want to place it back inside the frame. Now because we've got rid of the clips earlier to hold the glass in place, you want to add some glue to make sure it's nice and secure. And you have to be pretty quick doing this because the glue can set. Make sure you got the glass the right way. Then I'm going to flip it around, get rid of any glue, any excess that has come out. This looks pretty nice just as it is, so you can have it like that. But I'm going to go a step further, I'm just making sure it's nice and clean. Then we're going to turn it back around and grab those leaves that we painted earlier. It actually turned out pretty nice because some of the colours still come through. You can see a little bit of the red there, a bit of the green here, and then some of the orange as well. So you're going to arrange them however you like. Bear in mind that you have the text, so if you want to have a look at how it looks, you can turn it over, kind of set it up or arrange it in rough, however you like it. So I think this is how I'm going to arrange mine. 2 in the corners and then 3 at the bottom. So make sure you've got this right because once it's stuck down you can't go back. So you're not going to hot glue them or anything like that, you just arrange them just like that, and then take your glass again, make sure it's nice and clean. And then you're going to do the same thing, we're going to apply hot glue around the border and then stick the glass on top. I actually did this with like some fern in a DIY recently, but I just wanted to show you there's a lot of ways that you can do this. And also I had a few questions because I kind of fast forwarded a step there about the glass, so this time I thought I will just go through all of the steps nice and easy so that this time there's nothing that you have missed. So again, just quickly arranging that and then taking the glass, trying to be really careful here not to move the leaves, as well as securing it before the hot glue dries. If you want to make it extra secure, you can go in with a little bit more hot glue, but be very careful because you don't want it coming out onto the glass because you'll be able to see it. So I'm just going to go in right here on the edge. And then do the same up here. And you can see where the frame is, so you know where to keep an eye, like that not too much hot glue comes out, so that way you won't see it on the other side. So I've got one last one here. So I'm just going to let that dry, but then you are finished. Oh, and if you'd like, you can add some kind of hook here, a backing, so that you can add it to the wall. I generally lean mine against the wall, so I'm probably not going to go and add the backing. So here's the second DIY/hack of today. I honestly think I prefer it without the leaves, but it's done now, so gotta stick with it. I kind of wish that I had some natural leaves, but it's not autumn yet. For the second DIY, again, I am going to be taking another pumpkin. This one is from the Halloween range. So I'm just going to be removing the labels. I'm also going to remove this light because I'm not going to need it, and I thought, you know, I'll just use it for another project. Now in Poundland they also have these little fat quarters, so this is one of those, and I just really love this neutral colour. And I'm going to start just by removing this bit here. And we're going to be using our hot glue to attach this material covering this glittery pumpkin. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm actually going to cut strips so that I can glue them down each segment, because I just don't want the shape of the pumpkin getting lost. So I've counted how many, I've forgotten now, I think there was 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 7. So I'm going to cut 7 strips in total. And I'm just going to try to get the same length and width by adding the first one on top as a template. I'm going to keep going until I've got 7 in total. Now we're going to be taking some PVA and you're going to apply that all over the pumpkin. We're going to be sticking the fabric on top. I'm also adding the material through there, through the hole. Now we're going to finish our pumpkin and decorate, so you can put this back in and just change the colour, paint it if you want, but I like the rustic natural touch, so I'm taking a little bit of a branch here and I basically twirl this around some pencil. That gives it the nice spring there. I'm going to glue that in place, just taking my hot glue to do that. And it's up to you if you want to add some colour, you can add some leaves. I've just taken 2 different pine cones, so I've got lovely shades there of brown. I'm going to stick them in place. And this is the final DIY for today. I really love this one. I think I'm happiest with this one. Let me know your favourite. I think it's definitely better than the orange glittery pumpkin anyway. And then this is just a quick reminder, or just to show you how all 3 of them look together. This is what happens when I'm crafting. And I'm not giving Leo attention, he just twirls and does all of these cute things for me. Hello, baby. Okay, show's over. You get one little stroke and the show's over.